जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Rohit Bapat. Today I will present you my interpretation of Manache Shlok, Shlok number 11, that is verses for mind, composed by Sri Samartha Ramdas Swami. First we will see the Shlok and then we will try to understand the meaning of it in simple English. The Shlok is like, जनी सर्वसुखी असा कोण आहे, विचारे मना तुची शोधूनि पाहे, मना त्वाची रे पूर्वसंचित केले, तयासारखे भोगणे प्राप्त zale. In Marathi literature, in Marathi society, the first sentence of this shlok has actually become a proverb. Even though it's part of a shlok, it has become a proverb to convey the meaning in general that have you ever met anyone who was never unhappy, who has never been unhappy, who is always happy, who always has been happy? Have you met anyone? Jani sarvasukhi asa koण आहे. If you ask me, some sentences, some words, some proverbs describe the life in the simplest but the purest form, the truest form of it. This sentence is one of those sentences. Jani sarvasukhi asa koण आहे. Jani means in society, within people, in the world. Sarvasukhi. Sarvasukhi is combination of two words, sarva and sukhi. Sarva means everything or all. In our case, wholesome or ever, forever. Sukhi. Sukhi means happy or satisfied. Jani sarvasukhi asa koण आहे. Asa means like this. कोण आहे means who is. In this world, who is absolutely happy, wholesomely happy. Every time he is happy, he has never been unhappy. Have you ever met anyone who has never been unhappy? This is what Samartha Ramdas is actually telling the mind. Because the thing is, the mind always searches for happiness. Search for the happiness is the essence of life. And this is the reason why life goes on. Jani sarvasukhi asa koण आहे, विचारे मना तुची शोधूनि पाहे. The mind always searches for happiness. And the grief or the sadness or the sorrow is actually the direct result or the reaction when the mind fails to find the happiness. We all forget that there will be times when we will fail while finding the happiness, while searching the happiness, or while attaining the happiness. There is always a possibility that we will fail. But the big point is, who has ever won over this unhappiness or the failure to find the happiness? Have you ever met any person who has defeated unhappiness? It is not possible. Not possible in the physical life, in the normal life. Now these verses are not directed or propagated towards the yogis or the sadhus or the sannyasis, because they have already attained this supreme happiness or eternal happiness. They have already attained it. These verses are for the people who are living in this world, the samsara. Samsara means whatever is around us. So these verses are directed towards people like us, normal people who are living in this world, who are trying to follow their duty, who are trying to do their work, who are trying to live their lives. So this is not for yogis. So don't take me wrong when Samartha says Have you ever met anyone who has never been unhappy? He is not talking about yogis. He is talking about general common people like us. And it's the same question even I ask anyone who is actually listening to this video or to this audio. Have you ever met anyone who has never been unhappy? It's impossible. So, do not try to fantasize something which is unachievable while living in the samsara. It's impossible. It is impossible to be not unhappy. There will always be times when you'll be unhappy, no matter how small or big the cause is. So, do not follow this fantasy or the dream to be happy every time. No one is eternally happy. It is not possible. Jani sarvasukhi asa kona hai. I plan to take this extra time just to explain this, that do not search or do not try to follow this fantasy or the dream to be ever happy. It is not possible. So, in other words, in other sense, understand that there will be times when you will not be happy. And this is what Samartha says in the second sentence. Vichare mana tuchi shodhuni pahe. Vichare mana. Vichar means thinking, thoughts. Mana means man, the mind. Tuchi means you. Shodhuni pahe means search. So think about it, O mind, think about it. Think about it and try to search that person. See if you can find that person. You know, in normal world, basically what this means is take a step back and look at the world. Sometimes when you are in the battlefield, in the front line, you miss the point. It is possible. You always are searching for something, you're always trying to achieve something, but you are sometimes so into it that you miss the big point. So what Samartha is saying, according to me, in first two sentences is that there is no one in this world who has never been unhappy. If you don't believe it, try to search. Try to find that person who has never been unhappy. You will not find anyone who has never been unhappy. So if you have not found anyone who has not been unhappy, how do you expect yourself, you not to be unhappy every time? It is impossible. So understand this, that you will not be ever happy. You will have to face your unhappiness, you will have to face your failures, you will have to face your griefs, sorrow, sadness, depressions. You will have to face that. This is how the life is. And the thing is, mana tvanchi purvasanchit kele. This is the third sentence. Now this is the part of Indian philosophy that talks about the destiny, your destiny is influenced by your past lives, karma or deeds, or whatever you have collected in your past life. Mana means O mind. Tvanchi means you have. Tvanchi re is just an expression, just like O. It doesn't have any specific meaning. Purvasanchit. Now this is important. In Sanatan philosophy or Indian philosophy, Purvasanchita. Purva means past. Sanchita means collected. So whatever you have collected in the past, now this can mean in the past life as well as in this life, but in past. It is possible. In both ways you can take that, but mostly, this word is used whenever we talk about the past life. Because the prarabdha, or the destiny as you can say it, is defined or is influenced by your past lives, deeds, whatever you have collected in the past life. Mana tvachire purvasanchit kele. O mind, you yourself have collected in the past. You yourself have collected your deeds or your sins or your punyas in the past. You have collected that. Now, if you have collected that, then Tayasarkhe bhogane prapt zale. You will have to, or now it's natural to go through that, what you have collected in the past. You will have to go through that in this life. Sometimes the things that you go through or you suffer is defined by your past life. Now, not everything that you suffer in this life is totally defined by the past life. Sometimes it is your deeds in this particular life that you suffer from. But whichever life it is, whether it's this life or the past life, it is still purvasanchita. It's still whatever you have collected in the past. So if you have collected that in the past, then Tayasarkhe means like that. Bhogane means go through or experience, or in other words, suffer. Prapt zale. Prapt zale means it is obvious or natural. You will have to. So combining these two sentences, what it means in general is that, oh mind, you have collected that in your past. Now it's obvious or natural that you will have to go through that or suffer through that in this life. Now there is a very mood point in this, is that after reading this shlok, we definitely understood that there is no one in this world who has never been unhappy. If you don't believe it, try to search. Even I will ask you, that anyone who is listening to me, try to search who has never been unhappy. You think they might not be unhappy, but if you ask them, they will tell you that it's not true. And we have also learned that, oh mind, whatever you have collected in your past, you'll have to go through it, you'll have to suffer through it. That's the prarabdha, and that's written by destiny. No one can change it. But there is a hidden message in this. There is a mood message in this. If you don't want to suffer in next life, think about it. You are suffering because of your past life. Now, if you don't want to suffer in your next life, the basic premise of that is whatever you are collecting in this life will not affect your next life in adverse way. It's simple, right, to understand. You are suffering because of your past life. Now, in the next life, this life that you are living in right now will be the past life. Now, if you don't want to suffer in your next life, what you will have to do is, you will have to make sure the purvasanchita, or the collected, whatever you have collected in this life, helps you to go through that life peacefully and happily. Now, again, you will not be unhappy. You will never be unhappy. Like, it's not possible. There will be times when you will be unhappy, but you can reduce the scale. It's also about the scale, right? Some people suffer a lot in this life, and sometimes there are no apparent reasons for that. In Sanatan, in Indian culture, we explain that with prarabdha. Prarabdha is whatever you have collected in your past that manifests as your destiny in this life. So, live this life in such a way that you will not suffer that much in next life. You will suffer definitely, but you can reduce the scale of it. This is something I found as a hidden message in this shlok. There is nowhere written like that in this shlok, but this is something what I thought about it. That's why I call it interpretation. This is my interpretation of this shlok, is that Samartha Ramdas Swami has shown you the reality, the hard reality of the life, that you'll have to suffer whatever you have done in the past, and there will be times you'll be unhappy. You can never be unhappy. It's just impossible. So live your life, this life, in such a way that in next life you'll be at least less unhappy. This is my interpretation of this shlok. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have. Thank you for listening to this interpretation. Now, this project I'm doing for those people who don't really understand Marathi, but they want to learn about Marathi sense, the literature, and spirituality or adhyatma in general. Please let me know your thoughts about this video. If you have any questions, please do write them in the comment section. I'll be happy to give the answers. If you like this project, please go through the entire playlist. Now, this is the 11th shlok, but I'm planning to make videos for all the shlokas in this verses for mind or Manache Shlok, but it will take time. So please pardon me for that. But as and when I get time, I'll make these videos. Please, like I said, have a look through the previous videos as well, and please do share if you like my efforts, this interpretation, to people who are trying to find meaning of these shlokas. They're really trying hard. I know a lot of people who want to learn, who want to know more about adhyatma and spirituality, but they don't have means or they don't understand the language. So help me out to reach out to many more people. Okay? So thank you very much. If you have, like I said, any questions, please drop them in the comment section. I'll make video for the next shlok in some days. Till then, Jai Jai Raghuveer Samartha.